Hello everybody. Welcome. It is another crafty day here. So you know how much we love making stuff, right? So here we are again. So I'm here in the Crafty Bunch today and we're making ornaments. So lots of fun things. You might not be thinking about, the holidays yet, but I'm sure if you've gone to any of the stores, you probably have seen stuff out for Christmas, right? So if you aren't seeing the little red live button here on Facebook, let me know that you were here and just type in hashtag replay. Let me know where you're watching from. And I hope that if you are watching on YouTube that you will, hop in and say hello to us from there as well. That would be wonderful. I'd love to know that you're here and watching. So we got a full day of fun crafts for making ornaments today, you guys. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make some out of paper. So, it's always a lot of fun. And so I have a whole hour today, so I'm sure I'll be making more than one ornament today. You know how that goes. We can make more than one in an hour. I'm pretty sure of it. So hang on one second. Yeah, pop in and say hello when you get here. I would love to know that you're here. So I'm going to be streaming into the Crafty Bunch, and Amanda from Simply Flamazing Art is our hostess today. And so it's always fun to, have our other people, hosting events. So in the Crafty Bunch, we have several people that host events. And so it just gives presenters another time to make something fun. And we love sharing stuff with you. If you're a maker, you love doing that, right? I'm sure that even if you make things, you enjoy doing that as well from time to time with other people, right? Don't you? Pretty sure you probably do. So let me just put this over in my group. I also have a free group. It's called My Artful Adventures Clubhouse on Facebook. There's no cost to join that either. And I'd love to have you there. We just, we do fun stuff. And usually once a month we try to do a mystery card night. So that's fun. I need to get that scheduled up now that I think about that. Oh, Amanda said she had a minute trying to find me. I know sometimes it's kind of hard to find people. I have no idea. And sometimes some of the people that we watch, even, it's hard to locate them. I have no idea why. So let's go ahead. We are past our starting time now, and so I'm going to turn you down to the desktop. If I can think of what I'm doing. Sometimes we get those lapses in what we're doing, right? So I wanted to do that. Hang on just a second. Oh my goodness. Why do I look so far away today? Hang on one second. That's odd. Let me try and fix that, you guys. Just one second. I'll try to get me in there and put me somewhere, and hopefully you're not just gonna see the top of my head. People say they like to see me on here, but I tell you what, sometimes I'm not sure that that's a lot of fun. Okay, today we're going to do some paper folding, and we are going to have the opportunity to make it look, we could either do stars, or we're going to do both. But you can make it look like a star, or you could even, make it look like a snowflake. The way that we're going to do it, you could use it either way. And I love projects like that to where you can take the same thing and do a couple of things with it, right? Okay, so let's get started. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to make it with a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. And since the first one's going to be a star, I'm going to use this. This has got like some silver foiling on it, and I thought, oh, wouldn't that be pretty to make a star? So what we're first going to do, and there it goes everywhere. So what we're first going to do is we're going to cut this piece of paper in half. And since we are going to be folding it, we're going to make little accordion folds. And so the first thing I want to do is see which way that it folds easiest, and it's probably going to be that way. This one isn't too bad. It folds pretty easy both ways, but I can tell it folds this way the easiest, and so I'm going to slice it this way this time. A lot of times for what we're doing, I have to turn it the other direction, but I'm just going to do 6 inches here and cut it right down the middle. And Okay, so we got it right down the middle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it on the 1/2 inch, every 1/2 inch for a little bit. You know what? It'd probably be just easier if I start this direction and then I can pull it over as I go. So we're going to score it, and I want, whoops, I got to grab it here and make it sure it stays where I want it. Hold it there. Okay, now, whoops, oh my goodness. This paper, this has a trimmer and a score tool on it. Let me just catch my breath. Hi, Nyla, Amanda, Karen, Helen, Susie, Rebecca. Who else popped in? Let me see if anybody else popped in. So glad you're here, you guys. Hi, Carol and Sue. Sue and Sue are here. Okay, so we're going to score it on the 1/2 inch mark, and then we're going to do every one. We're going to do 6 of these. So I want 6 score marks. 1, 2, every 1/2 inch, 3, 4, 5, just lining it up at the top and the bottom so I know it's straight, and 6. You know what, I was thinking, you know what, I'm already at 3 inches. I just need to continue this. So because I want them the other way, we're going to have, we're going to be using this, and we're going to cut triangles, but we're going to get our triangles, the bottom here and the bottom here. So go ahead and just score the whole thing, every 1/2 inch. Glad I thought about that. Okay. All right. And then we're going to do the other one too. So every 1/2 inch. And I think, you guys, I'm afraid I'm going to really, this is going to be, I don't know. I'm going to have to, like, spread this out. I'm going to have to go slow. Hey there, Jimmy Lou. How are you? The Messy Craft Corner is here with us, and Liz and Ann. Molly, hey you guys. Okay, so again, every 1/2 inch. And this is just oh, I just cut it. Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys. Okay, wait, we maybe can save it. Let me just do scoring here. Okay, oh, you guys. You know what? If I can paper craft, so can you, right? Oh, I always say, you know, there's no telling what can happen. I'm going to see if I thought I had a little piece of washi tape over here. Maybe I can put a little bit of washi tape there. Or it might be, maybe I can get by and almost not even use that part. We'll see. I'll have to strategically think out the rest of my triangles now. I don't like having to be strategic. Oh me, oh my. What can I say? Now the reason we're doing this all the way down is because you want your score marks starting at the wide base of our triangle. But since we're going to cut this and have our triangles with a wide base on both sides here, then, you know, it's just going to be easier to do it like this. Oh my goodness, I still can't believe I did it. You know, I say I can't believe I did it, but yeah, I can. Oh my goodness. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Who else popped in here? Hi, Edith, sweetie. Karen. That's why I don't like that kind of board. Well, hey, Roberta. You know, I don't mind it. It's kind of handy to have it right here handy, but yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, actually, that is the first time I've done that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to measure, and you know what? This is just one-sided here. it's only got a print on one side of the paper. And so I'm going to do this side so I can mark it and you can see what we're doing. How about that? So what we're going to do, okay, let me think about this. If I make that the pointy side, okay, I got to think about that. I think we'll just go with it, you guys. So on this side, we're going to mark it at 4 and 8. And then on this side, we're going to mark it at 2 and 6 and 10. Okay? And now you're going to draw your lines from the corner to up here and make that a triangle. Okay? So that one goes there. And this one is here. And then we're just going to make them, you know, both directions. Yeah, that hit right in the middle of that thing. I've got to figure that out. Now, and I don't, oh, I do see some washi here. It's got stars on it, but hey, it's some washi tape. So look how many we can get off of here. So this was just if you're just joining us, this is a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. We cut it in half. We scored it lengthwise every ½ inch all across the whole, you know, from here to here. It's scored at ½ inch. Okay, so now we, you know, and now we need, oh, you know what? Hey, this might not be such a bad deal, because we've got this whole piece too. You don't really need this many. We only need 5 of the triangles, but that'll work in our favor with that big boo-boo, right? Okay, so what did I say? 4 and 8 on this side. And then 2 and 6 and 10. And so again, we're just going to make our triangles like this. And you know, once you, and you know, you can even have kids help do this. You know, and it depends on how old the kids are. But, you know, you might have to help a little bit and help, you know, get some of this part done. And, you know, and it's fun to have the kids help with things. And, you know, who doesn't like making some ornaments on the tree? How special is that? You get to make your own ornaments and have them hanging up. And I tell you what, you know, sometimes it is actually surprising how, you know, how sturdy that some of these paper ornaments can be, especially if you are doing a accordion fold on them. It really gives them some strength. Amanda says she was thinking it's nice to have both in one, and literally thought he'd end up cutting her paper. Yes. Hey Celeste, how are you? Okay, so let's go ahead and cut them. And we've got, you know, 2 ways we can cut these. We can cut them with just our scissors. You know, you don't have to do that. You don't, I mean, you don't have to do it. Sometimes what I think and what comes out of my mouth can vary greatly. So we're just gonna get our little triangles. And you know what? There really isn't any rhyme or reason. I wanted to use a piece of paper this size, and this was how I figured out that I could make the triangles. And you'll see in a minute, we're gonna make something different, and we're going to actually use just regular printer paper. And so that's a completely different size, and we're gonna make our triangles much bigger on that one. So it really doesn't matter, you just need triangles. These are kind of tall and, you know, more tall than they are anything. Okay, so we actually have 4 of these. And I'm only going to need one more of those. So that worked out, you guys. I do have another piece of paper like this, though. I could, you know, make some more and have kind of a set. How fun would that be to make a set of handmade ornaments for somebody special? You know, when you do things like this, how many of you make things and give them to people? And if you give them to people, give me some hearts if you make things and like to give them as gifts. I'm very curious. Okay, we've got some people saying yes. Great. And do you just give them to anybody? Because I find I'm kind of picky about who I give handmade things to. Because if I don't think that they're going to appreciate it, why bother, right? And I think that makers like to give other makers gifts because they appreciate it more, don't you think? Okay, so now we're going to fold this, and so we're going to start this way, and we're going to fold it up. So you want your front side facing the back, folded towards the back, okay? Yes. Right. Family for gifts. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people just don't appreciate it. So why would we give them that? Okay, so we are going to fold this, and we want to do 6 of these folds. So we were going to have 3 mountain folds, and then this one. Now I'm not sold on this. The way that I saw these made, I don't even have any idea who did it. They did one more, fold it like this, and then cut this part off so it's kind of even. Okay, so now we've got 3 mountain folds, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, actually 3 valley folds if you flip it over. All right, from this way you've got 4. 1, 2, no you don't, you got 3 that way too. Okay, so moving on. So we're just going to keep doing that. So we want 5 of these. So fold it to the back. And then this way. I tell you what, that did not score super heavy, so you really got to pay attention there. Okay, so yeah, so 3 mountain folds, leave this point up, and cut it off. You just do that till you have 5 of them. I couldn't believe when I found this paper, you guys. Your son says they're tacky. He's a guy. Yeah, a lot of people, if you make them something and gave it to them, that's exactly how they feel about it. It sure is. And, you know, they just want something manufactured, I guess. Everybody has their own opinion, right? Sue says she makes gifts for one special friend's birthday and Christmas, along with something she really needs. Yep. Okay, we're going with Sue. She's on a little trip. She's got some errands to run, so she's just gonna keep listening. Yeah, Sue, you better just listen. Don't be watching. So you've got the idea. So there's 3. I mean, it takes a little bit of time. Oh, how did we end up with 6? Okay. And you just keep folding them up. And it helps to try it, you know, and you don't have to score them, but it really helps keep it straight. And otherwise, you get them all kind of cockeyed. And, I mean, they'll still work. My sample ones I just did by hand, and they did fine. Now, why this one is, and you know, I can tell my measurement must have been a little off on that one. But we're only going to see the front side, right? And if you were going to hang it on the tree, Yeah. Oh, shoot. I meant to grab my glue gun. I think sometimes it's a little bit, things like this, it's kind of nice to have your glue gun. We can do it though with the, with just regular glue. My reptile glue will work fine for this, so we'll just do that. Okay, so we've got 5 of them now. There we go. Now what you want to do, oh, I should have been doing this along the way. So let's give them a good fold. And then we're going to fold them together on this long side, all right? So just fold it up there in half. And then really give it a good squeeze down here in the corner, or at the end, the folded end. You know what? Yeah, I guess I should glue them all along as we go along. And I decided if I fold it more towards the back end, now you want the top closer together, but it gives it a little bit more of the pleating is going to show, or our folds. I don't know if that's going to matter. No, let's not do that. Change my mind. Let's just go ahead and glue it good. And now I'm going to clip that closed. You know, I said, oh, here's one more. I do not know where in the world some of my little clippy things like this have gone. I usually keep them right here in my desk drawer right in front of me. And the other day I started to pull one out and it was gone. Only had a couple left. I'm like, well, what happened to those things? Okay, here we go though. So let's glue this one. But you know what? They work fine. I've got some of these larger paper clips and they work just fine. And make sure, okay, well, this isn't that important yet. Okay, hang on. So fold the long sides together. See, we're not doing this for people that don't want them, right? Nobody. We're not only giving it to the people that want them, that are appreciative of them. But you know what? I tell you what, sometimes you do something like this and then you have it like on your tree or something and somebody is sure to come along and go, oh, aren't those cute? All right, and fold on the long side. And really try to get those, that bottom edge where there's that fold, really try to get that good and tight. And you'll see why in a minute. Just one more. You know, I should have, I was going to say, I should have paid attention to how long it took me to make one. But you know, it doesn't really matter. When you're making the first ones, the time is not going to be anything when you're trying to figure out and making sure that you're doing it correct. It's not going to be anything like when you do the next one. You know, and that's just the way making things go, right? You can make, I used to sew a lot and made almost all my clothes all the time. And I sewed for the girls until they got big enough that it was like, that was awful. You know, you don't want to be caught dead in something that was, you know, handmade. And so, what was I gonna say? Oh my word. Who knows? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got our 5. I wish I would have paid attention to who was first so I knew which one was drying. Okay, so now you're going to kind of spread them apart a little bit. Thank goodness that reptile glue dries fast, you guys. Oh, I was going to say, sometimes I would use the pattern and make something more than once. And like after you make it once, man, the next time you could just speed through and make a second one. And when you had something that, you know, fit really nice, you really enjoyed making another one to have a second one. Okay, so now we're gonna stick this in here. I'm gonna put this little guy in here, pinch it closed. Now I'm gonna kind of hold this down here a second. Now this is where some hot glue would come in handy, but you'd have to be really careful, you guys. Hi, Tammy. You'd want to make sure that you don't get burned. Okay, so next one. Whoops, thing went speeding off of there, didn't it? Okay, so just spread it out a little bit. And I'm going to put some glue on the side here. I'm just going to hold those together a second. All right. This one has, you know what? I'm going to take this off a second. This one, let me see if I can show you. This one, this outer edge is too tall, and I'm going to trim that off while I can get to it easier. And it just seems like it's probably the way it got folded is probably the only reason it's like that. There we go. Just keep gluing them together. You're a sprinkler, Tammy? Thanks for being a sprinkler. I appreciate that. I was just telling Amanda this morning. I sent her a message and I'm just like, oh man, I just get so tired of my phone changing the text that I send. You know, it just turns out being ridiculous. And you're like, why? I think I was trying to put thank you and it says thanks up. Like, what does that even mean? Thanks up. I'm just going to squeeze these here till it just catches. That's one thing, seriously, I love that reptile glue. Okay. Now I'm just going to let it sit a second. And see this little hole right here? Now, if you're going to make kind of a snowflake looking thing with it, you might want to leave that because then it kind of gives that airy look of a snowflake, right? But I don't want to do that. I am going to, oh shoot, I wish I would have just had a piece of silver. That would have been super pretty. But we'll just see what it looks like with this. And so you've got all these little scraps here. And I've got just a little star punch. And I'm going to put that out, and I'm just going to place it on here. So the way I'm going to glue this on, oh, I wish I had a, now I'm sad. Think how pretty that would have been with plain silver. I'm going to dot my glue on each of these. And then I'm going to just lay it on here like this. Oh, that one, and again, hot glue would probably be better here. I really have one high point on here for some reason, but that's okay. I mean, once it catches, even if it's stuck on one high point, it'll be fine. And then you can just kind of adjust it out, kind of fan it out however much that you want. I would do that before I put the little center star on. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? And now we want to do something so we can hang it. And I've got this baker's twine that has a little bit of silver in it. And I love how these crocodile things have one hole that is, you know what, I can see how this like sticks out here. I'm gonna punch my hole right there, and that'll be perfect for a place to put our string so we can hang it up. And we'll just cut a little length here. And it's not stretchy, so you got, you know, and that's the thing. You have to make sure that it's such a, you know, you just kind of have to guess, because you don't want it so long that it's like dangling way, way down. But you have to have enough you can slip it over a branch, right? Or, you know, whatever you're going to hang it on. So now I'm just going to slip it through here. Maybe. I'm going to have to lick it, you guys. I can't get it in there. It's almost too big. I tell you, sometimes you get to doing these little things and, oh my goodness. I could have put it in there before I tied it, which is probably what I should have done. Oh, I can get it. Yeah, it'd be easier to just string it through one at a time, or, you know, just a single strand and then just tie it afterwards. So now you've got your little strand like that. And look at that. Isn't that cute? You know, I'm really surprised with all of the silver in it. The silver, I mean, you can see it, but it's not super, you know, in your face silvery. But, you know, it's kind of a, see what I mean now about it being kind of a cross between a star and a snowflake? Can you get the measurements of the triangles again? Yes. If you're doing, here, well, I'll show you here. If you're doing a, hang on one second. Let me cut this in half, and then I'll show you. So you take a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and because you're going to be folding it accordion style, make sure you know which way it folds easiest, because it'll make your things a lot easier to fold. And so whichever is easiest to fold for this project, cut that direction. So we're going to cut down right here at 6 inches. So we're going to cut it in half. And I'm going to give you the measurements on this, but, and you do this on both of them, but we're going to move on, and I want to show you so you have the measurements for a piece of printer paper as well. So then on the measurements that you want to do is at the bottom, you want to mark it at 4 and 8. So 4 and 8. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. 4 and 8. And at the top, we're going to mark it at 2, 6, and 10. So we've got 2, 6, and 10. And then you're going to draw your lines from the corner up to the top, or, you know, to the marking on the opposite edge, right? And so go clear down to the bottom. So that's why it's best if you can mark as close to the edge as you can when you're doing this, right? And, you know, even if they're a little bit off, it's not gonna hurt anything. And so then you just cut them apart, and then score every 1/2 inch across the whole thing. So 1/2 inch you're gonna score this way every 1/2 inch, okay, all the way across. Okay, let's do our printer paper. So I hope you got those. Hi, Jerry. Oh, you're in Spring. Nice. I'm over by Fort Worth. Well, you're welcome, Kathy. Okay, now for this one. Okay, on this one, this is a regular size piece of printer paper. And on this one, we're going to mark it at, we're not going to be able to get as many across. And we're going to make these much bigger. So we're going to make this one, we'll mark it at 5.5 on one side. So just, you know, in half. So 5.5. And then on the top, we are going to mark it at 2 5/8 and 8 3/8. Okay, so I'll mark it big. 5.5 and then 2 5/8 and 8 3/8. Okay, so that's what we're using on this one. And again, you want to do your lines across just like this. And like I said, we're only going to get 3 out of this piece, so we've got to make 2 pieces to get our 5, just like that. Okay, and let's do one more. So again, we're going to mark it at, I tell you, I wish there was something I could figure out about holding the ruler and picking it up every time where I really need to pick it up. It's just crazy to me how often I just pick it up the wrong direction, upside down and all kinds of ways, every single time. Okay, now you could, if you wanted to, oh, I'm not going to do that yet. Okay, let's go ahead then, and this time score it at 1 inch. These are going to be bigger. Oh, look at me. Move that up there. So this time we're going to score it at 1 inch, and we're going to do the whole piece of paper. So just make sure you're straight on the top and the bottom. And 4. And I'm going to have to swing out the arm here in a second. I don't have enough space. I ran out of room. Swing the arm out. Hey, Glinda, how are you doing? Okay, so what was that? 6 probably. Okay, and 7 and 8. Okay. And oh my word. That was not a good thing. Because now I don't have the right measurement at this end. That's irritating. Okay, don't do that on there. And you know what? I did, because this is printer paper and it is so much lighter, it really is easier to deal with than the other printer paper. I mean the scrapbook paper. And you can cut like this. You can just, you know, take your markings, pivot them into your little cut track, and you can just cut it like that. You don't have to, you know, draw all your lines if you've got an easy paper trimmer or some way to trim it like that, right? Works out pretty easy. Okay. And one more. That gives us our 3. Let me get another piece of paper here. I can't believe I didn't even think about that. You know, it's all about what you learn while you're making it, right? I know, right, Glinda? We're crazy. Okay, so I need 3. I gotta have 2 more. And then we're just gonna do these. We'll just fold them by hand, okay? And you can see, you don't necessarily have to be exact. Okay, so let's see. I need 5.5 and 2 and, what did I say? 2 5/8 and 8 3/8. Okay. So we've got time. So I'll draw it out again. So I mean, you know, you're just flip-flopping them. And so as long as your measurements and your as long as you're doing it like this, then you can use them both directions. I mean, I can use the triangles that bottoms are here and the ones that are at the top. Just getting the most out of your paper, right? And for printer paper, it's not that critical. But I did want you to see what a difference it makes if you make this, you know, this much larger. All right, so then we'll just, yikes! My scissors seem to be magnetized. I'm just grabbing up those paper clips like nobody's business. Okay, I only need 2 of these. Okay, now, and this is what I did before. Okay, so now you're taking it about 1 inch. And it doesn't have to be real precise. But one thing that I did, now I'll show you. Okay, now before we wanted 3 mountain things, and then we turned this one up and cut it off. But here's what happens. If we do that method this way, you're only left with this much on here, and that's, you know, that's kind of pointless. So this one, just bend to the back and cut it on that back edge. You still have your 3 mountain folds here, but just do it like that and you'll still have plenty to glue together, right? So about 1 inch up. And the one thing about it is, you know, once you make a fold, you kind of use that as your guide. And it doesn't really matter if these are, you know, you can fold them and all of a sudden you realize like, oh my, that seems like it's going the wrong, you know, it's kind of getting out of whack there, but that's okay. It'll be fine. And again, once you make your 3 mountain folds, then on this one, cut this one off. And that's all it is. And look how much easier. This one just folds so easy with the printer paper. But you're going to want to do, you know, you don't want just some plain white thing, do you? You know, I've got some glitter here. I'm trying to hurry so I have time to make it a little fancy. You got to have it a little fancy, right? 3. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Okay. Okay, so I want to know, have any of you made these before? I have never made them like this. I've made other things. I have some other videos on my page that show how to make little Christmas trees out of paper rosettes and pine cones. Actually, and I'm not so sure I didn't show those like 2 different times. I have not made these like this, Kathy. Sue, you haven't? Sue's always making stuff. Usually I show something and Sue goes, oh, I've made those. It's almost like if we need help, we should ask Sue. And probably so many more of you, actually. You know, truth be told. We got some crafty peeps among us. Well, my goodness. That thing is really just sticking on there. You know, I look like I've got lipstick on my hand, and I don't know why. Okay, so again, we're going to fold the long edge together and get those really tight. Okay. Me too, Nyla. Me too. I'm anxious too. Look at me trying to speed along. Make a different one. But I hope you guys got the measurements. I mean, you know, that should make it easy if you want to try one. Now, I'm just going to glue the tiny part together because I think that'll help it have a little bit more play and be able to spread out. Oh, and be sure, I made this boo-boo when I put one of them together. Make sure that your, I forgot to do this. We forgot to do the long parts together. So we got to do that. You know, I actually, while I was messing around with this, I did leave one and left the tall parts open. And it kind of gives it a totally different look, which was kind of cool. So you could do that. You can do, you know, you can have several kinds, or, you know, you can have different looks to the same ornament, making the same thing, and just gluing it together in a totally different way. Okay, so now this is what I was trying to tell you. You need to make sure you get right. Make sure when you get these, when you're gluing them side by side, make sure that you've got these these mountain folds in the center one. Make sure that's on the top. I got one upside down. I'm like, well, why does that look so weird? Well, I had it upside down. Because it just shows, you know, you just have more cut edges showing is why. So if you're wondering what difference that would make, you can just have more cut edges. So we'll just put that there. And then one more, and just glue on both sides here. And you can see, see this one, how small that its little fold is? You know, it's okay. It'll be fine. And so I'm going to snuggle this one up here closer to the center and then bring these guys down here. And I think it will allow me to have less of a hole there in the middle. Okay? Like that. But because this is white, what would it look best as? A snowflake, right? Look at that. And if you wanted to, you could take like some, I know, you could take a paper punch. Where's my other one? Here it is. You could take a paper punch and do some punches through here like this and make it look more like a snowflake, right? Like this. What do you think? Is that crazy, or does that look kind of it looks like we've given it polka dots or something? I don't know. You might have to mess around with that. What if we did like, well, now I did that and I need to make some more of them, or it's just gonna look silly. Who knows, right? We'll give it a whirl. Get some down there lower. You don't want them all in the same spot. I don't know, just make it look a little bit more lacy looking. Is that some over here? And this. Okay. Okay. And you probably could take scissors, you know, take some of your little fine work scissors, and you could probably, you know, do some other things, make some other little shapes in them, like something more like a little triangle, maybe like that, or, you know, just some other little shapes. I don't know. There's no end to how long you could mess around with these, probably, would be my guess. So I just kind of cut at an angle, and then I'm going to go straight in here. Just be totally different. It makes a different kind of hole than the hole punch. I don't know, you could play around with that. Okay, next. This is what else you could do. Let me flatten this out a little bit. I'm going to make my coffee filter bowl here. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to leave both of those together for now. If I don't leave them together, I'm afraid it's going to blow away. So now, let's just smear a little glue on some places. I'm just going to kind of dab it along the top little edges here. And then we'll sprinkle some glitter on and see how that looks. Of course it's gonna look great. Why wouldn't glitter look great, right? I gotta hurry up and get around the edge though, or it's gonna be dry and not stick. Okay. All right. So we got some glitter on here. Oh, I had a little spoon. One of the girls had a little spoon the other day. I don't know what happened to it. And then we'll just tap some on here. I want to hold it down, otherwise I don't want all of that glitter sticking on the inside of those folds. Right? It may anyway, who knows. So, I mean, this is going to catch all of this glitter, and I'll just be able to pick it up and pour it back in the dish, or the jar. Well, you guys, I have made a giant mess, and I should have turned the fan off. You guys, I gotta turn this fan off. I've got that everywhere. I'll be sparkly for days in here. Let's just press it in here. Kind of thump it off. That's kind of pretty. It's so hard to see on camera. It just looks like globs. But in person, it's just got these, you know, just touches of little sparkles. Oh, I love it. I think that's cool. Actually, let me put this back in here. It's not too bad. We did pretty good containing it. And we'll just put it back in our little jar, because it's not dirty or anything. I've had this for so long and I love it. It's one, and I don't even know if they make, oh geez, I don't know if they still make it, but it, you know, it's so perfect because it shows whatever kind of color that you were using as well. So, you know, the sparkles just were, they're just fun. And this one was called Dazzling Diamonds. I don't know if they still make it. I'm going to grab, where are they? I need to grab a wipe, and I can kind of get some of that up, I think. Thanks, Capri. You could use stickles too. In fact, I got something like that out too. You certainly could. In fact, yeah, we got time. Let's try. These are not super, I don't actually know what this looks like. Let's see. I think my silver stickles are up there farther. Oh, this already has the thing out. Some of these things, oh, that just looks like a gel. No, it says it's glitter glue. I swear I see no glitter in there. Well, hang on one second. Silver would be pretty on it too, wouldn't it? Here, I've got one. This one I can tell it looks a little more glittery. Let's try it. I don't know if it's been open. Looks like it. It's not going to show up as much. That is really pretty though. That it's starting to dry, and the little globs that were glue, that were bigger globs, they are really starting to sparkle. I don't know about this one. I mean, it can't hurt, right? Who knows? You know, you just play and put on all kinds of fun stuff. If you've got the glittery, sparkly stuff and that's what you want to do, especially for snowflakes, right? And you know what would be pretty? I didn't grab one out, but it would be pretty like on the other one that where we put a star in the middle. It would be pretty if you had a little snowflake to put in the center of this one, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be fun? But see, now here's the difference in the size. This one is I've been wiping that stuff up. Thank goodness I had these wet wipes here handy. I was thinking about using them, that I'd probably need them for glue. Get glue on myself. Oh my goodness. Okay, so where's our other one? What did I do with the other one we made, you guys? Oh my. Ah. What did I do with it? There it is. Found it. Found it. Okay. So here's the difference. This is from the 6-inch tall half sheet of scrapbook paper. And let's see how big they are. Basically 1, 2, 3, basically 4 inches. They're basically a 4x4. And then this one is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. So about 5x5, this one. So, you know, a total difference. And so, you know, it could make a, depending on how big you wanted it, you know, might be. And you could certainly cut your scrapbook paper. If you wanted to use more than one piece, you could certainly cut scrapbook paper the same dimension. So it would be, you know, your 8.5 inches wide, right? You'd make it like your sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11. So you could always do that. That'd be super fun. Yes. Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Michelle, or thank you, Amanda, for saying something. Coming up after me is going to be Michele from My Chile Belle Creations. And so if you are watching us here in the Crafty Bunch on Facebook, all you have to do is simply just refresh your screen. So, okay, this time, let's do it the other way. Let's make this hanger a little bit easier to deal with getting it through. Okay? And you guys, something, you know, if you haven't thought about it before, I do this a lot. I will take a tiny bit of glue and I will just, you know, kind of roll that end there and keep it together. So you just kind of let it dry. It only takes a second to dry, and then it's not going to come apart. And especially these things that are baker's twine that have a pretty thread, you know, in with them. Like this one's got the silver in with it. And so I don't really want to mess around and have that thing coming all apart. And so I can use my smallest thing here, my smallest hole. I almost didn't get that one in far enough. And then I can take this and put it through the hole. That's not even the one I made sure wouldn't fray apart. And then just put that in there, and that's so much easier to deal with. And then you can just, you know, make a little overhand knot like this. Just like twist it around your fingers. I just kind of roll it and then pull it back. And there we have, that might be a little bit too big. I don't know. It might be a little bit big. But like I said, it's so hard to decide how big you want your hangers until you get to playing around and actually have them on the tree, right? A string of those would be great on the window or mantle, right? Thanks, Glenda. Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be fun? Ah, thanks. Oh, Cheryl, that's never any fun. I'm sorry you're having that problem. Thank you, though. Look how fun they are. And look how they go together. You know, I wish you got, I hope when I take a picture, I hope that this shows up so much better, because that is so cool with that sparkly glitter on there. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. I love it. Now, as long as it doesn't come off on everything else, right? But who cares? We'll just sparkle all the way to everywhere we go, right? We'll do it. We'll be sparkle. Us and our sparkling personalities, right? Thanks, Kathy. Oh, Angela, that's fine. Yeah, you know, super easy. And that's one of the things nice about when we have these events is we can watch everybody. Oh, it's time for me to go. Let's go see what Michelle's doing. Just refresh your screen in the Crafty Bunch. Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye. Almost refreshed my screen and forgot to stop my stream. Bye, you guys.